Well, hey folks, welcome back to the shop. Just want to do a quick video. I've got a 2001 Sportster on the lift that's having a little bit of carburetor issue. The fuel will not stop coming out of the carb even with the bike off. Now the petcock has that, what do you call it? Vacuum petcock style. But somebody had deleted on that, and in doing that, they didn't get the kit. They just kind of took the spout off of this and then filled up the right here. Kind of spouted off this right here, which this I guess would work fine. But there is a kit you can get that you can actually take the back of the diaphragm kind of thingamajiggy off your petcock, and it comes with just a plate and a gasket that you put on there. This is it right here. It's called a vacuum valve bypass. And so we'll put that on there and checking the float, making sure that it's where it needs to be set. Now, in a 1992 to 2003 Sportster, the float on this needs to be set at an angle. And so I just thought, hey, I'll do a quick video and just kind of show you if you're ever working on stock Harley carb off of Sporty. How do you do the angle? How do you set it? So let's get to it. Oh, welcome back. All right, excuse the mess on my table, but there's a method to my madness. All right, anyway, this carb, you're going to set down on the intake side that goes into the intake to your motor. This is the out of the carb where the air breather goes. You're going to find a level surface, and set it flat. And then you want to angle. Let's see what our notes say here. Okay, on our notes, we want an angle of 15 to 20 degrees of the carb being angled. And then we're going to measure from the top of the float to the flange, and that's our tolerances. 10.5 to 11.5 millimeters. Or 0.413 to 0.453 inches. So the way that you'll get that measurement is by angling this back, and then that float will close just to where it touches the top of that needle. If you notice, we can go more here. If you push that little needle down, a little spring on top of that needle. So how do you know if you're doing 15 to 20 degrees on this? Well, you can go to Harbor Freight and buy you one of these magnetic base angle finders. We can set that on there, and as you can see, the needle's still bouncing around, but we're at 0 on that. And then what you can do is just angle this back till you get to 15 to 20 degrees, and then you can observe here where that's at. But I'll show you what I like to use that you've probably got in your pocket, believe it or not. So we'll take that off. If you have an iPhone, and I believe Android does the same, you can go to iPhone, you can go to your measurement app, and you can go either to level or measure. We'll do level. And you can turn your phone sideways, and you can set it on your carb, and that is at 0 degrees. And now if I just hold both things together and I angle, it will show me my angle that I'm at. So I want 15 to 20. We'll go split the difference at 17. And we'll eyeball down in there and watch exactly when that float touches the top of that needle, and then we'll measure from the base here, the flange here, to the top of this float, and we'll see where we're at. So I'm going to go ahead and set my measurement, my little measuring tool, to the probably millimeters, and I want to go to the 10.5. So the tolerance is 10.5 to 11.5. I'm going to go to 11, be right dead on, and see where we're at on our float level. Now while you're watching up here, I'm going to have to sneak down here and see if I can watch exactly when that contact happens. When a needle goes down and stops. Okay, so it has stopped at 15. When I go to 20, it doesn't go down anymore. So now I've got this set at where are we at? Yeah, 11 millimeters. And let's see where we're at here. And we are perfect. So that's right in the middle. So that's exactly what I want it to be at. But I just thought I'd show you, if you've got an iPhone, it's the measuring thing right there. And you can even take measurements if you wanted to. If I wanted to know how far that was from, let's say, over here, that's 6 inches. If I wanted to do the level, then you can do it sideways. You can do it up like this. I don't know what that is. That's crazy. All right. So you can do it up like this. And this even shows you your lean as well if you go out like that. Like that. Pretty neat. So this is set really, really good. So what I'm going to do, I got a hose hooked up here, and I'm just going to kind of verify where that turns off at. Oh, that's perfect. Very good. Now I can throw this carb back together, and I know that this float is set exactly where it should be, within right in the middle of the tolerances. Now another thing, of course, while you're in here, clean your jets out, clean your orifices out. When you take this float off, make sure to take the float and dip it down in a bowl of water and just look for any bubbles. These floats around these seams here over time could crack. Not so much on these one pieces, but on the one that's got the little kind of rounded ones, rounded floats on both sides. These are a little bit better design. They're the newer design. The older ones are on the 91 and younger carburetors. But make sure there's no pinhole in this where this will fill up with gas and then it will not go up to float to shut off your fuel. So if you're having a fuel leak coming out of your overflow or just out of your carb, this bike came in and his oil tank was full of gas. I actually had to flush it 3 times to get all the gas out of the oil. I had to change the oil 3 times in it. So just a little tip for you to do all that while you're in here. And now we can put everything back together. Check, of course, your accelerator pump, make sure it's pumping and things like that. But it wasn't an issue on this bike. So now that we got everything set and the float set, I think the main issue with this was that petcock, and for some reason the float was not turning off. So I don't know what it was set at before. I did monkey with the adjustment on the float. I think it was way up. So maybe that'll fix it, but we'll soon see. So I hope that helped you out. Thank you so much for just popping in, and tell your mama now I said hi.